Hello everyone, it's Don once again with another video for you. This is video number 138, and in this video we're going to take a look at golf here in the Villages. I'm going to look at the courses under construction right now, and we're also going to talk about some of the problems that our golf courses are having here in the Villages, especially those courses between the sixes. In this video, I also interview Mitch Leininger, who is in charge of maintenance of all the executive courses here in the Villages. We had a very interesting conversation, and I'm going to share most of that with you in this video. Mitch is certainly one of the experts here in the Villages on the maintenance of our golf courses. Unlike some of the other internet geniuses we have here, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. For now, let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, and back over my shoulder, this is the Laurel Oak Executive Golf Course. You can see the Southern Oaks Bridge right behind me, and the Laurel Oak Executive Course. As you can see, it's greening up, but we'll get more into that in a few minutes. For now, let's continue on following the dream. Even though this video is primarily about golf, we will take a look at Eastport because so much is happening here. You can see they've broken ground and started the foundation work on the Villages golf cart store. Between the golf cart store and the lake, and just a little bit to the left, is where I believe they're going to be putting a grocery store. Now, which store that's going to be, we still don't have a clue. This is Building 12 under construction. I believe this to be the new sales center, just like they have in all the other town squares. And as you can see, it's coming along pretty quickly. Right behind Building 12 is the Olympia Recreation Center. The big open area here with the tall rebar for columns is where the indoor athletic area will be. While there are currently 3 other town squares, plus Middleton under construction, bringing together the shopping, the dining, the commercial district with a major regional recreation center and the first lake in the Villages specifically designed for water activities brings a whole new synergy to the whole town square concept. Here we can see, once again, somebody in a golf cart going into a construction zone, taking risks. Not the smartest move I've seen today. On Sunset Island, you can see they've already started to lay down the brick pavers for this particular area of the island. Interestingly, though, the other end of the island appears to have very little work done on it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to it over the next year. Where this wall is, along the water's edge, is where the Eastport Hotel is going. They've just broken ground on it just recently, and progress is still in the very early stages. Let's take a brief non-profit moment. Don't forget, next Saturday, March 23rd, at the Wildwood Millennium Park, located just north of Brownwood, is the second annual Spring Thing, hosted by the Villages Noonday Rotary Club. Admission is free. There'll be exhibitors, contractors to help you with your projects that you have, crafts, food, and most of all, live music. I hope to see you there, so please come join us. The Village View Community Church of Summerfield is launching a new campus in the southern end of the Villages. Their temporary home will be the Brownwood Hotel, and they would like to invite you to attend their first services on Palm Sunday, March 24th. 2 services will be held at 9 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. It's a casual church, so come as you are and discover a place where you can experience a fresh and enjoyable connection to God and the people of your community. Now for a quick non-profit moment. Church Second annual Spring Thing is coming back. Millennium Sunday, Park, March 23rd, 2024. This is another view 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Hotel. If you're interested in being a sponsor north. Or a vendor, carefully on the ground, you can see where they've already started cutting out the islands in the parking area. And yes, you will be able to get there by golf cart. Will be a much bigger part of the whole downtown environment, unlike the hotels that populate the other 3 town squares. As we take this second view of Eastport, look on the ground, and you can see the footprints and the foundations for many of the new buildings that are being built. Here you can see the foundation footers for 2 buildings going into the ground that will be part of the waterfront area. We'll get a better look now at the waterfront side of Building 12 and the Olympia Recreation Center. When you compare Eastport to the other town squares, which basically have a small central area, the large waterfront area here, plus the availability of the recreation center and all the athletic fields, makes this a unique venue for some really large-scale events, unlike anything else we've seen here in the Villages. Any other time a large-scale event was held, it would have had to been held at the Polo Grounds. Not anymore. We have a unique venue going in here that will definitely change the way things are going to be done in the future in the Villages. With lots of partying going along on a waterfront area, it's only a matter of time till somebody ends up getting wet. And then, does it become a new tradition here in the Villages to end up being in the lake? Let's face it, we're not as young as we once were. Climbing those old-fashioned attic stairs to get the Christmas decorations down or to stow those family treasures is just too dangerous. Magic stairs is the safer alternative. Real steps with safety rails at a safer angle and safety rails in the attic provide the safest attic access available. Having troubles getting things to and from the attic? The Magic Attic Lift can be there to help. Designed by Villages resident Ron Berner, every Magic Stairs and Magic Attic Lift is custom built in their Ocala, Florida factory and installed by their technicians. Why take chances? For less than the cost of one emergency room visit, you can have Magic Stairs installed in your home. Magic Stairs, the safer, more convenient alternative. Enough of Eastport now. Let's talk about golf. This is the driving range that they're building just south of the Eastport Hotel. There's over 40 teeing areas at the north end to hit south as a conventional driving range. And at the south end is where they're having the Golf Academy, and they will hit north, making this a dual-use driving range. Golf is an important part of the lifestyle for many here in the Villages. Currently, we're undergoing some challenging times with some of our executive and championship courses. This is the Bel Air Executive Golf Course being built in the Eastport area. In the last video, you could see the skeletons of the drainage system inside the greens. Now they're covered up with the next layer of sand. This is all part of the drainage, and it's this drainage that's become problematic for our greens between the sixes. The courses are getting older. They've got a lot of vegetation buildup in the greens. They're not draining well because of the many years that they've been in operation, many of them around 15 to 20 years. I spoke with Mitch Leininger about this. The interview for that is at the end of this video. It's about a 10-minute long interview along with the flyover of the Shallow Creek Country Club. So please stay tuned for it at the end. I think it's a very informative segment. While we're here, we'll take a quick look at the village of Lakeview and the work that's going on there. As you can see, they're putting in the potable water lines, the light blue lines. This village is probably at least a year away before they start building houses. Looking at the layout of this golf course, it's probably going to be a par 27 course. The Bel Air Executive Course and the Central Lake Driving Range both have a tentative opening date of sometime in November. We'll see how that works out and how things progress in this area over the next 6 months to get there. Coming up is the maintenance area for the Bel Air Executive Course and the driving range. Considering the condition of many of our courses right now, I thought this past week's article in the Daily Sun, which called the courses pristine, a little hard to swallow, probably was in the works a long time, and they don't think they really paid a lot of attention to what was happening around the villages with the golf courses before they published it. This is the Live Oak Pitch and Putt, which is just south of the village of Monarch Grove, along the edge of the Turnpike. It's an 18-hole pitch and putt. This is the fourth pitch and putt golf course to go in this area of the villages. As you can see, they're laying a lot of sod. This course is tentatively scheduled to open sometime in October of this year, which gives us a pretty good clue when McNeil Drive will probably open up and homes in the Well Point area will go on sale. As you'll see throughout this video, there's a lot of golf courses going in. So for all you internet warriors out there who keep saying, oh, they've stopped building courses, blah, 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 get over it. You're wrong. They are building the courses. They always build the courses first because then they build the houses around it. It's the only way it's going to work here. The other side of the naysayer's playbook says that, oh, there's not enough golf courses, there's too many people. Well, I took some time and I went digging into some historical records, trying to figure out the number of people here and the number of golf courses, and I calculated the number of homes per hole, and I'm going to show you that information because it yields some interesting facts. In the graphs you're about to see, the data goes back all the way to 1968 when the Villages was first originated, but the first golf course wasn't built until 1985, so there's an initial flat spot. In this first graph, this is the number of homes per championship hole. As you can see, it goes up and down a bit as new golf courses open and new sections of the community are built. It fluctuates anywhere from 269.4 homes per hole down to 129.5, but it averages out to about 201 homes per hole for just the championship courses. Right now we're sitting at about 239 homes per hole, which is about 20% above the historical average. The green line represents the number of homes per hole for just the executive courses, and this has varied anywhere from 400 homes down to a low of 170 homes. Historically, the average has been about 206 homes per hole, and right now we are sitting at 209.9 holes per home, not too far off of that average. This is another look at the live oak pitch and putt coming up from the south. Of course, there has to be lots of water on the course and plenty of sand. If I want water and sand, I'm going to the beach. I don't feel like finding it on the golf course. When we take a look at the overall average of the number of homes per hole for both executive and championship courses taken together, we get a high of about 200 and a low of about 81 homes per hole, with an average of 102. Currently, the number of homes per hole overall throughout the Villages is 111.8, or about 9.6% above average. Considering the challenges of the area between 44 and the Turnpike, and very little space to actually build golf courses, that's not too bad. And when we look at all the new courses coming, things are really going to change. That number is going to drop significantly. Down by the Southern Oaks Bridge is the Laurel Oak Executive Course. And you can see the grass is coming in here. They've laid a lot of sod, but they've also planted a lot of grass on the fairway. It doesn't really show up well from the air, but from the ground you can definitely see it. Along the lake, what looks like sand is actually rock. I'm not sure why they're doing it this way. This is the first time I've seen them do something like this along one of the retention ponds that's on a golf course, but they obviously have their reasons. So we looked at the data and we compared where we're at now with the historical average of the last 30 years for the number of homes per hole. And to be within 10%, that's pretty darn good. Now, for all you naysayers out there beating the drum about not enough golf courses, sorry, your song doesn't hold any water, just drop it. The Laurel Oak Executive Golf Course, as well as the Live Oak Pitch and Putt, are both tentatively scheduled to open sometime in October this year. A common problem people tend to have when scheduling their golf reservations is not being able to get the tee times that they're looking for. A big part of this is not understanding how the point system works for the online tee time system. Another common problem is limiting your reservation choices too much. If you're planning on playing between 8 and 9 at Red Fox and Gray Fox with a group of 12, and that's all you put in for your reservation, chances are slim you're going to get it. You need to open up the time frame and the number of courses you're willing to play with a larger group. A friend of mine, Jack Miller, prepared a document explaining the point system and how it affects making your reservations. You can download a copy of this from my website. Go to goldwingnut.com and click on the Downloads tab, and you'll find it right there for your use and benefit. The addition of another 45 holes of golf in this area during 2024 is going to make a significant difference in golf availability for residents in this area. Next up, we're going to head to the south to where Marsh Bend Trail and Bexley Trail meet, and they're building the Beautyberry and Honeysuckle executive courses. On the left side of the screen, you see Bexley Trail. This goes up to where the detour is onto County Road 470. Eventually, this will open up, and you'll get a better view of these golf courses under construction. While no dates have been announced for either of these courses to be open, it's reasonable to figure, based on the current construction happening in Moultrie Creek, Shady Brook, and Water's Edge, that these courses will probably open sometime in the summer of 2025. With the addition of these two courses to the other two that are under construction, that's 36 holes of executive golf, plus 3 championship courses, or 63 holes, plus an 18-hole pitch and putt. That's 117 holes of golf that's under construction right now, and there's more to come based on some careful examinations of some early drawings that I've seen published.
Hi fellow villagers, it's Steve from Gold Shield Cart Alarms. Unfortunately, golf cart thefts are a growing concern here in the villages. I offer an affordable solution. Our golf cart alarms are easy to operate, maintenance free, and are an effective deterrent. Call me or visit our website. Protect your investment. Gold Shield Cart Alarms.
On the right is Corbin Trail, just south of Monarch Grove, as it runs through the Woodlands Golf Course. Now, previously and in other videos I have called this the Oak Hollow Golf Course. I was mistaken. This is actually the Woodlands Golf Course. It's another 18-hole championship course that's under construction. As you can see, not a lot of progress has been made on this part of the course. On the other part, we'll get to that in just a minute, much more progress has been made. This part of the Woodlands Golf Course winds through the villages of Edenfield and LaGrange. It can be hard to comprehend just how large this area is. Even I, as I fly my drone, find it amazing. I'll fly out as far as I can see my drone, which is my legal limit, and I can still look ahead of me and see I have a long way to go. It's amazing how much they are building here, and just how much more is to come. There are many that are saying that the village is getting too big and they need to stop building. What they don't understand, though, when they make these statements, is the economic impact of losing 15,000 jobs in Sumter County alone, to say nothing of the surrounding counties and the impact it would have on them. Home values would plummet, taxes would increase. It would be a complete disaster for this area and would take years to recover from, if not decades to recover, if it ever did. For those living in the villages who think it's gotten too big, my question to you is, when did it get too big? The day before or the day after you bought your house? As far as the residents outside of the villages that think the villages should stop growing, there's a simple solution to that. Tell your neighbors don't sell their land and the villages can't grow anymore. But don't forget, when the villages stops growing, jobs will start to disappear. Here you can see the cart path, as well as the greens and the sand traps being roughed in this section of the Woodlands Golf Course. This is in the village of Oak Hollow, and a little farther to the south, the direction that we're heading right now, is also the village of LaGrange, and just beyond that is Eastport and the 1-kilometer lake. Although I've lived in the villages nearly 10 years now, and have been retired for the last 6, I haven't lost my focus on business and the way things work. Unfortunately, many people here in the bubble tend to forget how many things in the real world work, and become focused on their own needs. There's nothing wrong with being focused on your own needs, but don't lose sight that there are other people involved in the world. Of course, the big question everybody wants to know is, when will the Woodlands Golf Course open? Well, all we can do is speculate, but based on where it's at right now, it's going to probably be sometime the middle of 2025 before it opens. As I head back north, you'll see the village of Monarch Grove come into view at the top of the screen, and just below it is the village of Wellpoint. I've been asked many times, when are they going to start building in Wellpoint? It's still months away. They're just now getting the postal station built, so that's normally the first thing that happens, so it's going to be a while. Just south of the Southern Oaks Bridge, they've started work on the Meadowview Championship Golf Course. There's been hundreds of dump trucks coming out of this area, pulling out tons of soil as they start to dig the new retention ponds and lakes that will be part of this golf course. It's impossible to say when this course is going to be ready based on current conditions, but 2027 doesn't sound too unreasonable. And now for the grand finale, the Shallow Creek Country Club Golf Course. The building you see here is the clubhouse and Boosters. Boosters is scheduled to be opened sometime in the spring of this year. Shallow Creek Country Club is scheduled to open sometime in May or June. The course will consist of 2 nines, each with 3 par 3s, 4 par 4s, and 2 par 5s, making it a par 70 championship golf course. As I fly through the course, I'm going to go through in play order 1 through 18, and I'm also going to play for you the interview I did with Mitch Leininger concerning the conditions of the golf course. So now let's talk about some of the ongoing problems we have here in the villages. As most of you know, some of our greens are in not such good shape. So I decided it's time to talk with somebody who's an expert. I'm here with Mitch Leininger, who's in charge of all the maintenance of the executive courses here in the villages. Thank you for meeting with me and sharing your information with our residents and my viewers. So Mitch, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started in this here in the villages.
Sure. So I started out about 17 years ago in the golf course maintenance business. I have a degree in turf grass management from Penn State, and I started at Bay Hill Club, Arnold Palmer in Orlando, and did maintenance there for about 3 years, and then I moved on to Rosen Hotels and Resorts. And from there, I oversaw the Shingle Creek property, where that golf course saw over 100 tournaments a year. And then from there, the opportunity here in the villages.
So obviously, the level of play that we see here on our courses has a huge impact on the conditions. So can you give us a real quick summary of the basic problem and its root cause here that we're seeing right now?
Sure. So our greens, we have some issues with some of our greens at some of the golf courses. The greens are the most important part of the golf course. It's where we do the most maintenance, where we spend the most money. It's the most stress, the shortest height of cut on the grass. And so during the winter time, we have some that become oversaturated. Between 466 and 466A, we have greens that are 15 to 22 years old. So they have an organic material built up in the soil base. And so those get oversaturated during the wintertime, and then it's hard to dry them up until we get to a better weather pattern. So you'll find yourself in an anaerobic state. You'll have turf thinning, turf loss, disease pressure. And so that's
anaerobic state. What does that mean?
So that's kind of where it's suffocating, if you will. So you have less oxygen in there and a soggy root system. And so it's not able to dry up. And then that's where disease pressure happens. And that's when you can have turf grass loss.
So basically between the sixes, the courses are getting older and they've got a lot of decaying plant matter built up, and it's not letting the roots dry out and become healthy and strong, and that's making them more susceptible to disease. Is that a fair assessment?
That is fair, yes, sir.
Okay. Is this issue being spread from course to course? Is there like a fungus that's being spread? Or is it just because of the overall age of all the courses?
Yeah, so the overall age is a big factor in it. And then we do have central locations that have had some disease pressure hit them. And so identified some diseases, and so continued to find out some of the... Yeah, so we did find some of the areas to be oversaturated, some of our greens in particular areas like the Bonita Pass and Tarpon Boil areas. Those are Bonita Pass, Tarpon Boil, Redfish Run. Those are all areas that are staying extra saturated, and we've had some disease pressure hit us there.
Yes, I can attest to Tarpon Boil. I played it 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't pretty. I mean, but it was obvious that there is an underlying problem. So Mitch, in hindsight, is there anything that we could have done either as the community, the residents, or maybe the golf maintenance crews could have done to help mitigate this?
Well, I think everything we do during the summertime, aerifications, trying to put new sand material in the holes that we create over the summertime, that all helps everything through the wintertime. And so maybe now with some of our historic trouble areas now that we can do an extra aerification time where we get one more in before the season starts to try to help with that drying out period. But I think really some of these have just gotten to the age where they need to be redone. We need to go in, check the drainage, take all the old soil out and regrass it, and then you'll find some really well-performing greens again.
So between the sixes, some of the courses have been renovated, such as Sweet Gum, Sand Hill, two of the Triple Crown courses up at
Churchill Greens in Belmont. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how are they holding up compared to the rest?
Yeah, they're doing great, and so they were able to make it through a long winter. Extra moisture is not affecting them because they're able to drain it out, and they have a good drainage system with very little organic matter built up in those greens. So we're going in and renovating, putting new soil in some of these greens, and then we're also planting them with new turf varieties that are traffic tolerant, shade tolerant, or can handle some of the moisture through these long winter periods, and they don't have that organic material built up like these older greens do.
So is this new turf that you're using, is it more expensive or is it comparably priced to some of the existing stuff?
They can, anything newer is a little bit more expensive, but again, we're looking at some of the grasses that were originally here that were developed in the 60s, and so now we're using newer turf varieties that have, been bred to be able to handle lower heights of cut, shade issues. We have a lot of beautiful oak trees around here on our golf courses, so we need to use more shade tolerant. But the shade doesn't help with drying out during the winter as well. So that's another factor that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis here.
Okay. So I know that there are a couple of courses that are being renovated right now. Do you have a schedule of what you anticipate either adding to the current year's renovations or what's coming up in the next couple of years?
Yes, we do. We have a really thorough 15-year plan on renovation schedules, and this year we're doing 4. We're going to do Pimlico and Pelican down on the south side, and then we're going to do Amberwood and Chula Vista on the north side. Next year, we'd like to push to a 5 course cycle so we can start to really go through that whole complement of golf courses in between the 4, 6, 6s. So next year we'll really look to push a Bonita Pass, and we'll try to do Bacall, and we'll do Heron. And so we're really trying to, that area, try to take one out of each of those village areas to be able to renovate that so that there's at least one in each area, and residents can know that their favorite golf courses in their neighborhoods are getting renovated.
Well, from personal experience, you could have skipped Pelican. That course is just plain ugly. That's wrong. It's beautiful, but it's ugly to play. And with my game, I need all the help I can get. A challenge? Have you played that hole? Have you played that course? It's brutal. It's brutal. This recovery process. I mean, I know we're coming into our warmer season. How long do you think it's going to take for a typical course to recover?
Yeah, so some of the ones that we have closed right now are going to take a couple months. We have open areas that need to be sodded. We have other areas that just need to be grown in. So we're looking at cultural practices, aerifications, extra fertilizer apps, and just giving them a rest for people playing on them. So time for the new sod to seam in and get a good ball roll again on some of these areas. And then warmer weather, it'll continue to get better and better. But we're looking at a couple months of these closures.
Fortunately, we're coming up on the end of the high season. So that takes a lot of pressure off the courses, and it'll allow you to get some more maintenance done. I know we have a lot of internet experts out there who question the maintenance ability and practices of the staff, but they got their education from Google. Obviously, you have a much better education, and I think it's easy to armchair quarterback things, I think. So, Mitch, I know that the championship courses have similar problems. Are you involved with them?
No, so these are 2 separate entities. We at the district oversee the executive golf courses north of 44. Those are owned and operated by the district, and then all the championships and the executives south of 44 are owned and operated by the developer. And so we have a synergy and a relationship as far as working in the golf here at the villages, but we don't have any oversight of those courses.
So obviously we have a site-wide problem, if you will. I assume that you guys are communicating on a regular basis trying to make sure the efforts.
Correct. Yeah, we
are
talk to each
coordinated.
other. We visit. We have outside of our vendors, and we have agronomists coming in, and everyone helping us out. We have a whole catalog of professionals that we work with on a day-to-day basis that we can make one phone call and bring them in and take a look at these things.
So obviously, cost is always a consideration. Most people think that there's an endless pot of money, or that we can just raise the amenity fee at will to cover these costs. If you're interested in that particular thing, go take a look at my 2 videos I did about 2 years ago on the amenity fees, where I talk about where the money comes from, where it goes. You'll find out that we just can't make money appear out of nowhere by raising rates. But back to money. Do we have a feel for what the cost on this is going to look like this year?
Well, I mean, I think there's going to be, several thousands of dollars to be able to put these golf courses back together. But then, the contractors, they're taking care of their end. They're the ones that are doing the sod work. They're the ones that are doing the extra fertilizer, the extra fungicides. And then we'll do what we can to support other areas that aren't affected to be able to make these golf courses standards and expectations.
So I assume that you're going to present to the Project-Wide Advisory Committee, since this is affecting the area between the sixes, an update on what's going on and possible budget impacts?
Correct. We do a golf quarterly update, and so we'll present that to the PWAC, and we'll give them updates on currently what's going on with the golf courses, our plan of action, what to do going forward, and then also going to them about capital improvement projects and getting some of these renovations done as well to be able to have up to par golf courses here for our residents.
So Mitch, what can the golfers and the residents here in the villages do to help with this recovery process and to help your staff in recovering our courses as quick as possible?
Yeah, we just ask residents and guests to be able to, give us a little patience right now, but then also just some good golf etiquette on the golf course. Keeping your cart on the cart path, not driving close to the tee boxes or the greens, raking out your bunkers after you play for the person behind you, filling your divots and fixing your ball marks on the greens. Those are all ways that can help to improve the golf course conditions here.
Mitch, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that we are fully focused and remain steadfast at investing in these golf courses. We want the experience here on the golf courses to be top notch, and we are really looking forward to renovating these courses and going to the committees and boards and asking for their support, and really just having a story to tell here about what a great experience it is and a great lifestyle to live.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, so again, it's going to be a rough few months if you're a golfer. Again, as Mitch said, be patient. Mother Nature once again proved that she was smarter than us, sent our golf courses into a tizzy this winter. Mitch, I want to thank you for taking time to meet with me. We'll put this in the video, and hopefully we'll get some good information out to our residents.
Great. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
the
very
time.
much, Mitch. So there we have it. That's the update on the golf courses. A bunch of new courses are coming. Our current courses, they're struggling, but staff is working to improve them. How and why we got to where we are really doesn't matter at this point. It's we need to recover. I want to thank you for watching my video and encourage you to please support my sponsors as they support me in bringing you this information. Also, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And be sure to hit the like button if you've enjoyed my video. And if you haven't enjoyed my video, let me know. Hit the dislike button twice. That'll really let me know how you feel. If you're building a new home here in the villages, or maybe you're adding a swimming pool, and you need somebody with experience to watch it and keep an eye on things for you as it's being built, go to my website, goldwingnut.com, and fill out the online form for getting your own custom video and photo package of the construction progress of your house or pool. Until next time, I encourage you to stay focused on the positive things in life and enjoy it to the fullest. Don't bog yourself down in all the negativity that can exist in this world. Life is much too short. Enjoy it while you can. I'm Don Wiley. Have a good day.